so I'm Singli.
I'm Jeremy.
And welcome to the e-commerce for dummies section. So we have decided to put on this little segment for you guys who is just starting out on your e-commerce business or online business and don't know what to do.
Yeah, and because it took me and Singli many years of experimenting and learning, and we just want to break down some of the concepts that we struggled to understand in the beginning into really like baby terms, so that it's super digestible and super understandable. Because a lot of people we speak to, they say, I want to start a website. Can I just build it on Wix? You see the ad on YouTube. It's very likely that you actually saw the ad right before this video. But but to run a successful business, that's not enough online for a successful online business. So today we want to talk about three things, okay? The three things that you need to know, the terms that you want to get right and understand before you start your online business, okay? So these three things are domain, hosting, and platforms. So what are domains? Domains are essentially like the URL name of the website. Like for example, if you check out our website, it's www.hustler.com. So that's your domain name. And to break it down even like further, your domain essentially is like your address. It's like your home address. So if people don't know your domain name, people won't be able to find you. Just like how if I wouldn't know what your address is, I wouldn't be able to come to your house, right?
Correct. And for domains, it is very important for you to have, say, at least 5 to 10 selections of names that you want to put as your address or URL, because a lot of them, like, if you have like fancy names like sweatypants.com, that is probably taken. So you probably want before you look for any domain, make sure you list down like 5 to 10 domain.
Yeah, like ideal domain names. Because most of the time, you think, oh, I want my business, I want it to be called Sweaty Pants. And then when you go and check online, it's taken up already. Yeah. And as a general rule of thumb, you always want the .com because people don't remember .co, the .net.
Yeah.
When you go to the URL bar, you probably just type in .com right away if you're trying to remember a website. So that's very, very important. Try your best to get a .com for your address.
And also maybe avoid a dash if it's possible.
Avoid dashes, avoid hyphens, avoid funny
all the
symbols.
funny stuff. Yeah, we don't need that.
Just make it short, memorable,
and simple.
Yeah.
Oh, and one tip also, if you're in a niche and like for example, if you're selling bags, it's really good for you to have a bag in your domain name. It helps a bit on the
helps
search.
to niche down, help people understand, oh, if your website is something bags.com, people would know that your website is about bags, right?
Correct.
But that's not compulsory.
It's not compulsory.
If you want to have a wider brand, you might want to sell bags or shoes and like other stuff next time, don't do this.
Yeah.
Try, keep it simple and memorable rather than having that bags thingy in your domain. Okay?
And the second one is hosting. And what is hosting? It's so complicated. Like for example, when I first started my own online business, it's because I'm not really a tech person and like I thought, having my own domain, just purchase my domain and that's it. But actually you need hosting as well. So what is hosting?
So hosting is essentially, to break it down into like really simple terms again, like in the physical world, you're hosting, one of the easiest way to understand it is actually it's a plot of land. Like you have the address, but what about the land? Because without that piece of land, you wouldn't be able to build
a house,
which is your website, which is the third website platform, which is the third thing that we wanted to talk about. But let's just leave it at that first. So without this land, you won't be able to store data. You wouldn't be able to, like when people come to your domain, it would be an empty plot of land, right? And you wouldn't be able to do business. You wouldn't be able to receive guests into your home.
Correct.
Right? So having a hosting is like buying a plot of land, like renting a plot of land.
Yeah, correct.
Essentially server space from some of the hosting providers so that you can serve all this data or serve people essentially.
Correct.
So hosting is land. and then domain is your address.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, and then the third one is platform. And
Yes.
platform is
The
your
house, the building, you know, like or at least the foundational work, right? So it depends if you're a developer, your platform, you could be developing your own website from scratch using PHP, Ruby on Rails or whatever, and this kind of stuff. But a lot of people, like for example, a very, very well-known example would be Wix. Wix is actually a website platform, right?
Correct.
But you see, if you don't buy your own domain name and you build your website on Wix, so you will get like a xxxx.wixsite.com, right?
Yeah.
That means you are renting the platform from them, but you don't actually own that land yourself, and you don't have the land, and it's someone else's address. So when you do something like this as a business owner, you're actually, you know, just freeloading off someone else's space. But when you're trying to, you know, build PR and everything, all the traffic is actually going back not to your website. It's not your website because you don't own the domain and you don't own the hosting. You don't host it yourself. So you're actually building business for someone else. You're promoting Wix for someone if you're using their domain. So very, very important, get your own domain name. It doesn't matter what website platforms you use. And I just want to go deeper, a little bit deeper into this.
Okay.
You know, if you're an e-commerce business, you probably use something like Easy Store or say
Squarespace
or Shopify. This kind of platforms. So these are the houses. Like Shopify will help you build your house.
Correct.
WordPress is another example of a platform. It's like a way for you to build your house.
Correct.
So that it's very important to choose a very good platform, hosting and domain. All these three things work hand in hand to, you know, as a great foundation for your business or your website.
Right. So what are the example of hosting, services that's available?
I mean, Google has a hosting service, Amazon has a hosting service, but if you're looking at something like Shopify
They have
or
their
Wix, like Wix, the hosting and the platform is actually together. So you get the land and the house right away. It's like a, you know, pre-built house instead of buying like an empty land and building it yourself.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
So that is easy. Like for example, if you want to like have your e-commerce or online business on Shopify and Wix, you just need your domain name and register for Wix or Shopify.
Yeah.
And then you're all set.
And typically, if you want for these platforms, because the free plan will not allow you to put your own address on it because they want the advertisement. They want to grow their own business as well.
So
and if they're giving you something for free, they want you to advertise for them.
Correct.
But
so it will
I
look
suggest
like
that you always pay for these things.
So usually when it's free, it will look like sweatpants.wix.com.
Yeah.
Or like blogspot.
or like wixsweatpants.shopify.com.
Yeah, so the Wix name is there, but there's like a watermark in a way.
Yeah, it's like a watermark, yes.
Yeah.
I think that's very accurate.
So you want to get the paid plan in order to get your
Own domain, own domain name, your own address, you know, so that, you know, and it actually builds a lot of credibility as well. Can you imagine if, you know, I list my address up on Google and then when people go there, it's actually like a mailbox.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're just renting that space rather than having a very legit storefront. Yeah, a very legit address and house. Right?
Correct. But then for WordPress, they also have, you need to register for a hosting service, right?
I mean, there is the self-hosted version, which, you know, you get your own server and you just install WordPress onto the server, onto your own server, and then you manage everything. But WordPress also has this WordPress.com version that's not open source. They host and do everything for you. But the downside is that, you know, for most of these companies, especially when like Shopify, like WordPress.com. So there's two different WordPress, WordPress.com and WordPress.org.
Okay, yeah.
And also Wixsite. Like the ones that are managed for you, like hosting and also platform together, usually you won't get a lot of flexibility.
Correct.
You know,
Because you're using someone else's land.
Yes, because you will have to get their permission first. Like if you do renovation for your house, you would have to ask your landlord or anything like that. So it's somewhat similar.
Correct. Like so, for example, like Shopify, they have their own hosting and also their platform, right? And everyone is using that. So meaning they have like a huge land that enables a lot of e-commerce stores, right? So they have like huge. So for example, if their hosting is really slow, then your website will load slower.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, because it's offloaded to them. It's something that you can't control because it's owned by a third party.
Yeah. So if you have your own hosting platform, your own hosting
you
service,
can do pretty much anything you want with it.
Correct.
Yeah.
So it's more flexible. It's basically like owning your own plot of land instead of renting it.
Yes. You're just like borrowing there. Let me put this into an example.
Okay.
Like in WordPress, right? So there's WordPress.com and WordPress.org. WordPress.org is the open source free software that anyone can install onto their server. WordPress.com is the one that's managed hosting. So with WordPress.com, which is the managed one, there's a lot of limitations. There are a lot of plugins, a lot of apps that you can't install onto the server, and you have very little control of what you can or cannot do. Like WordPress.org, you rent a server, you install the WordPress software onto that server, and then you pretty much have free reign and you can do almost anything that you want on that plot of land or your hosting server. Yeah.
Yes, correct. But as a starter, like we would suggest you to maybe get onto a service provider that provides a hosting and also a platform together, something like Shopify and or Wix, but we wouldn't recommend Wix because
I'm personally not a big fan of Wix. I've always been about WordPress when it comes to building sites, but that's really up to you. But most importantly, you want to have your own domain installed.
Correct.
Right? Don't stinge on that few dollars a month. Get your brand out there instead of promoting someone else's brand.
Correct. So to summarize everything, there are three things that we mentioned in this episode, which is the domain, which is your house address, your hosting, which is your plot of land, and the third one is your platform. And the platform is basically your house.
Architecture. Something like that, yes.
Yeah, okay. So these are the three things that you need to know before starting your online business or e-commerce store, okay? Yeah. And you can check out Shopify or maybe WordPress if you're interested to start an online business, and we have some special link down below that you can check it out, okay? So
if you want to learn more, right?
Yeah, if you want to learn more as well. So we're gonna end this episode right now. If you love this episode, share with a friend or comment down below if you have anything else if you have anything that you want to know that we did not cover. Okay, and also if you like this video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll see you next time. Okay? Bye.